I've read everything I can get my hands on the JSF, the Joint Strike Fighter, and when we're going to actually use these fighters. And I'm confused about the date, depending on whether you're talking about the analysis team that went out from DOD or whether I see quotes from Schwartz or whoever. Let's get on the record, Secretary Gates, when do you think the Joint Strike Fighter is going to be operational for our military?
Even with the restructuring of the program, the training squadron is still scheduled to deploy to Eglin Air Force Base in 2011. The Marine Corps will have their initial operating capability in 2012. The Air Force in the second quarter of 2013, and the Navy the fourth quarter of 2014. Those are the latest estimates that I've been given.
Okay. Let me ask you about the modernization of the C-5s. I'm going to try to go at the C-17 a little bit differently. I would like to ask this question. If your hands were not tied by Congress in terms of the modernization of the C-5s, would you continue to modernize or would you retire?
We would continue to modernize a good portion of the C-5s, but there would be some of the older C-5As that we would retire.
Are you advocating that we repeal the statutory tying of your hands while you're advocating for the closing of the line on the C-17? Are you also advocating that Congress quit tying your hands as it relates to retiring the C-5s?
Any greater flexibility I can have to manage the program, I would welcome.
Okay. I want to make sure that I get your endorsement for us retiring our hand tying of you as it relates to, obviously, the modernization of the C-5s has had huge problems. It turned out to be much more expensive than it was ever intended to be. And I know that it's my understanding we're not using C-5s in Haiti, correct?
I don't think so.
And, in fact, we're using, as we always do, the reliable, easy to land on short runways, load them up, get them out, cheaper to fly C-17 in Haiti. Isn't that correct, Admiral Mullen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Although I would just say, for the record, out of 204,000 landings for strategic lift, since 1997, 4% have been at airfields that a C-5 could not access, and half of those were in Iraq.
Well, I understand that, and I know that but it's important to remember that Iraq capability was pretty darn important over the last 6 to 8 years in terms of military operations, and I think we're going to have the same situation in Afghanistan. I mean, aren't there airstrips in Afghanistan that are certainly more friendly to a C-17 than a C-5?